Hey everyone, this is KD. Welcome to this video. This video is going to be very important. Reason is very simple. I am going to talk about a series of questions on something which is absolutely relatable, and that is RC struggles. As you are preparing for CAT, it's barely 6 months away. You are working on your RCs. Mocks have started. We'll talk about that also. And sectional tests are going on, so probably you are already facing a lot of problems in RCs, right? And there are plenty of pain points which are there in RC which you must be facing. You probably have zillions of questions. बहुत सारे ऐसे questions हैं. You want right answers to those questions to the extent possible, and you do not know where to go, who to ask. So what I'll do is I'll take up all those questions in a series of such videos. So ये पहला video है. We'll do more videos because there are plenty of questions I have gathered over the last 20 years of my teaching. तो मैंने सोचा एक series बना देता हूँ. It would be very useful, hopefully, to most of you. Let me know in the comment box अगर इससे फायदा हो रहा है तो. And I'll bring on more such videos as we go. So right now, probably most of you are writing RCs and you have a lot of questions. Right, for example, you're not able to remember what you have read, you do not know how to approach the questions, you are struggling with the structure, पढ़ते हैं भूल जाते हैं, पहला पैराग्राफ पढ़ो तो दूसरे पैराग्राफ में याद नहीं रहता, सेकेंड पैराग्राफ पढ़ते वक्त जोन आउट हो जाते हैं, सडनली आई एम थिंकिंग व्हाई वाज शी ऑनलाइन एट 3 AM एट नाइट, पता नहीं क्या क्या दिमाग में चलता है और सब गड़बड़ हो जाता है. सो राइट नाउ हमारी हालत कुछ ऐसी है, दुख काहे खत्म नहीं होता. राइट, सो यू आर राइटिंग RCs, 1 out of 4 करेक्ट होते हैं. एब्स्ट्रैक्ट RCs समझ नहीं आता है. दोज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आर हैपनिंग. डोंट वरी, नो मैटर वेयर यू स्टार्ट, दुख एक न एक दिन खत्म हो जाता है और हम सब अल्टीमेटली विकी कौशल बन सकते हैं. सो दिस गाय स्टार्टेड देयर एंड नाउ ही लुक्स लाइक दिस. सो आई थिंक it's quite doable. Just stick to the process, give your best shot, and you should be able to do it. There's no doubt about it. So on this note, let's start with the very first question that I have, I think, faced the maximum number of times. You let me know whether you can relate to it or not. The very first question is, why do I forget the passage as soon as I finish reading it? पढ़ना शुरू करते हैं, पढ़ भी लेते हैं 500 words RC, and then suddenly I realize कुछ याद नहीं. So multiple reasons, but the first reason is, remember, that you try to remember what you have read. It's called reading comprehension, right? It's not called reading retention. You're supposed to understand what the author is saying. You're not supposed to remember what the author is saying. अब बोलोगे ये तो एक ही बात है, I'm not able to understand what is the point here. The point is that understanding is different from retention. For example, history, civics, geography, you remember school days? रट्टा मार के पास होते थे. You were able to remember whatever you read, but did you really understand? Correct. Understanding is a different ball game. So क्या करना चाहिए? I'll not make the video very long. I'll give you very actionable points that can help you understand your own pain point, your own problem areas, and then accordingly you take action. Remember, all of us will have different approaches, different problem areas, but I'll try to give you very basic pointers. So what should you do? So the reason why you are unable to recall what you have read, भूल क्यों जाते हो, the reason is that you don't track the paragraph's purpose while reading. You read like a passenger in a bus. बाहर देख रहे हैं, सीनरीज पास हो रहे हैं, बड़ा सुंदर लोभनीय सीन्स हैं बाहर, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, but when you get down from the bus, you don't remember. It's like scrolling through your Instagram reels. If I ask you what did you see 15 minutes back, you won't remember because you did not know the purpose of why you are doing it. When you read a paragraph or a passage, it has multiple paragraphs. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of the paragraph? Otherwise, what happens is you treat the entire passage as a wall of text. You just look at it and you do not know what is happening. But the entire passage is basically a very well coordinated dance movement. The author starts with something, then takes you somewhere else, then takes you somewhere else, and ultimately takes you to the final destination. तो पूरा का पूरा एक move चल रहा है. You have to understand that. And that is why, remember, after the 4-5 initial lines, just pause. Don't try to be a fast reader from day one. नहीं करना है. Just take a pause and ask yourself, is the author arguing? Is the author describing? Is the author comparing? Is the author explaining? What exactly is the author doing? 4-5 lines पढ़ लिए मैंने. कर क्या रहा है author? Ask yourself. This will give you the direction towards which the author is probably taking you. And as you keep on going on reading the paragraph, mentally, अब screen पे करोगे तो it won't look good. Mentally, take a note. For example, tell yourself, okay, so the para 1 gave us the background. Para 2 broadly gave you new arguments. Para 3 had examples. Para 2 had examples and new argument. Para 3 had explanation. Para 3 had data, facts, figures. Para 3 was building on para 2. Now, of course, I know some of you would say, sir, what if there are no paragraphs? Then the entire passage will have these kind of structural pointers, right? Most likely. Ab kismat hi kharab hai to baat alag hai, but mostly we would be able to find this. Do you do this? Have you been doing it? If not, then please do it. If you have been doing it and you have better pointers, please let me know in the comment box. I'll add it in the coming videos, right? So in other words, remember, you have to convert passive reading into live or active reading, and something that would stick with you more. Now, will you see the magic from passage 1? No. Do it for 20, 30, 40 passages, and then you would start seeing the magic, but it would take place. Moving on. Pain point number 2. Sir, how can I improve comprehension without rereading? When I read a passage, I always have to go back. Rereading ke bina to kaam hi nahi chalta, sir. What do I do? Here's the solution. The solution is, don't focus on what the author said. That is the content part. That is the retention part. Wahan pe yaad rakhna padta hai. Don't focus on what the author said. Focus on why the author said it. You will not have to go back. Suppose the author is describing the details of Taj Mahal or a helicopter. You don't have to go back and understand every single paragraph, every single line, right? Broadly, you should know why the author did it. So, did the author give you context? Did the author support a claim? Did the author give you a counterpoint? That's it. Don't get lost in the details. Karna hi nahi hai. Don't focus on what, focus on why. Why is the author doing it? This would help you stop rereading the paragraph. And one more thing, please remember, rereading is a psychological phenomenon. You do it because you feel comfortable. What do you think changes in the second time when you go back? Nothing changes, right? You are the same person, same brain, everything. Kuch upgrade to hua nahi. Then why do you understand more? Because you are concentrating, you're focusing more. Focus from the first instance itself and you do a much better job. So remember, when you're reading the paragraph, just pause for 2 seconds, ask yourself, why did the author write it? Is he explaining? Is he giving context? Did he just make a claim in the paragraph? Did he make a counterpoint in the paragraph? You see the words, however, so probably the author is making a counterpoint. To explain it more, adding to it, moreover, author is adding. Just pay attention on the why part. Don't pay attention on the what part. So when you do this, what happens is you start mapping the passage. You understand the flow of the logic in the passage. You do not try to retain, you rather focus on the structure. So you do not focus on the memory, you focus on the structure of the paragraph. And then you do not need to go back and recheck, right? Karke dekho, do it for 20-30 RCs, you would see improvement for sure. Moving on. Ye dukh kai khatam nahi hota. Question number 3, sir, how do you identify main idea? I always miss it, or mostly miss it. समझ ही नहीं आता. क्या करें? बहुत सारे रास्ते हैं. Let's have a look at it. If you have been doing my classes, attending my classes, you probably know the answer already, but I will quickly take you through this. The mantra is that whatever is most repeated or rephrased, that is the main idea. If the author talks about climate change 10 times in the paragraph, probably it's the main idea. If the author starts by saying India can become a developed country and then gives you 3 reasons why and 2 reasons why not, then probably it's the main idea. Main idea is the hero of the paragraph, right? I call it the hero of the paragraph. And hero is the one जो पूरी movie में आता रहता है. Hero keeps on coming back in the entire movie. If the hero comes in the beginning and then dies, then nobody will call that person hero. Correct? So hero is the one which gets repeated. गाने भी उसी में बनेंगे, dialogues भी उसी में बनेंगे. That's the hero. So remember, while reading, mentally note which idea or argument keeps coming back through examples, clarifications, rephrasing, details, data. किसके बारे में बार-बार बात हो रही है, right? So author will try to talk about it through different angles. For example, analogies, so similarities. Author will say, as it happens in India, so it happens in US. As it happened in US. Author will use contrast. However, this is not right. This is correct. Author will give you data, facts, and figures as evidence. The theme will keep on echoing or repeating. That is called the main idea, right? So just ask yourself after you have read the paragraph, if I had to summarize this passage in one sentence, what recurring point would I mention? अगर मुझे इसका पैरा समरी लिखना हो तो मैं किस बात को मेंशन करूंगा जो बार बार रिपीट हुआ है, what has been repeated. That's the main idea. Do it with some RCs and you should be able to do this fairly easily. I'm pretty sure about it. But this is important because you would get direct questions also on para summary on the same idea. So make sure that you practice this pain point a lot. CAT aspirant की जिंदगी का one of the biggest problems, sir, abstract passages कैसे handle करते हैं? बहुत मुश्किल है. I can't handle abstract passages. Now remember, usually you get 1 out of 4 passages which are abstract. Abstract passages basically deal with ideas. Now when you deal with ideas, it's very hard to understand. Simple reason, when you talk about a factual thing, you can connect very easily. If I say Akbar, if the passage is on Akbar, you can connect, you have a mental image of Akbar, if nothing else, at least Hrithik Roshan dimag mein aa jata hai, right? But if I say the passage is on epistemology, there's a blank. Kya cheez hai, right? So relating becomes a problem in abstract passages. That is why abstract passages become a problem for CAT aspirants. Now remember, Indian schools, Indian colleges barely push us to read. They basically want us to mug up information and then just write them in the answers. Therefore, most of us do not read, and philosophy to khair दूर दूर तक नहीं पढ़ते. So suddenly we are facing these things and they become a problem. Pain point होता है, but इतना मुश्किल नहीं है. With some practice, abstract or philosophical RCs can be pretty doable. In fact, I keep on saying that in the classes, keep on showing also. I'll make more videos on this also. But ये काफी doable होता है. Now, my favorite quote is, which I use very often, is that in abstract passages, the author does not have a lot to say, so the author says a lot. जब कहने के लिए 2 lines हैं और 20 मार्क का क्वेश्चन आ जाए तो अपन कॉलेज स्कूल में क्या करते थे, है ना, कहानी बनानी पड़ती थी. Abstract passages are mostly like that. They have very few things to say, 1 or 2 pointers basically, but they write a 500 word passage on that. So once you understand the main idea, what is it that the author is talking about, you should be able to do it. But how do you do it? Let's understand very, very quickly. When you read an abstract passage, read a paragraph and just ask yourself, in one line, what is the author saying? Now remember, be patient. You may not understand sometimes the entire paragraph. You might read and you are like, ये क्या था, right? कहाँ से आते हैं ये लोग? क्या लिखा है इसके अंदर? Quite possible. But to the extent possible, in your own crude words, in your own simplest English language, just write one word mentally. That okay, the author said epistemology is bad. The author said Plato's idea of reflection is good. Simple. Just answer the question, what is being said. This is the question you have to answer, right? After this, just ask yourself, okay, what did the author tell us about? So the author talked about the philosophical existence of morality. Okay, so did the author give any example? Read paragraphs and ask yourself, did the author give you some kind of detailed description? Did the author give you some kind of implication or impact of it, or results of it, or application of it? Did the author do something like that? Broadly, passages में यही होता है. The passage would give you some information, then the author would explain it, then the author would talk about its detailed description, and then author would might talk about some application. Just ask yourself, what did the author do? Do it with some 20 RCs, you would be able to see a clearer picture. You would be able to understand the broad idea. And lastly, remember, they mostly talk about 1 or 2 key terms or ideas, right? For example, they'll say, okay, what is certainty? What is the limit of human understanding? What is knowledge? And then they will talk about it throughout the passage. Just track how that word evolves through the passage. Track the main idea. Just find out what is the main idea in the passage and what is the author doing through this, right? So what is the basic statements made by the author? What are the examples being given? How is the author detailing it? And what are the possible implications? Just do it with couple of RCs and you would be able to do a much better job. If you want me to take up an RC and do it, let me know in the comment box. वो भी हम कर देंगे, no problem, right? But abstract RCs quite doable होते हैं. I have done, I think, one video on abstract RC already. आप वो भी देख सकते हो. But if you want more, let me know. But this is something that is going to be very helpful. Just find that one key term or idea and see how it is being presented, explained, implications talked about, and you should be able to find out. Broadly पकड़ लोगे, ज़्यादा दिक्कत नहीं आएगी. What you should not do is try to understand every single word in an abstract passage. फिर फंस जाओगे. Definitely don't do that. Get the gist, get the content out of it. Don't try to understand every single line. Structure पे ध्यान दो, understand the main idea. That's about it. Moving on. Major question I get typically in the month of May or June. So my vocab is weak. What do I do? Now there are two options you have right now. One is work on your vocab. But then I understand if you start right now, even if you work for 3-4 months, it's very unlikely you would be able to take it to the level where you would be okay with RCs. थोड़ा मुश्किल है, right? तो दूसरा ऑप्शन है डांटना शुरू कर दें, right? करना चाहिए था, you should have done it, why have you not done it, how can you be so careless, this and that. But then I know full satisfaction मिलता है डांट के, but फायदा नहीं होता, right? At the max you would say sorry, I haven't done it, whatever. So can we do anything about it? The answer is good vocab is always an added advantage. It's like good looks, है तो फायदा ही होता है, honestly speaking, right? But इसके बिना काम चल सकता है. Ask Ajay Devgan, you can still be a superstar, right? So vocab क्या करें? काम चला सकते हैं. You can still decode a passage without very strong vocab, more or less. So the key point to remember is that do not look at the word as a word to be understood. Just focus on what function that word is doing in that particular passage. For example, the author says it is something that we should deride. Suppose you do not understand what is deride, पता ही नहीं, दिमाग के ऊपर से निकल गया, no problem. Author is recommending a course of action. You understand? Author is saying do this. Now this could be something positive, something negative, something neutral, but author is saying do this. Focus on the function. Deride क्या होता है मालूम नहीं. Maybe contextually you can figure it out later, but at least you know some author is asking for a function. Just focus on the function. You don't understand the word, forget it. Just call it XYZ. The author says we should do X. Now what is X? I don't know, but कुछ तो करने को बोल रहा है. Focus on the function. When you don't understand tough vocab, what do? Focus on sentence role, not word meaning. Very, very important. So ask yourself, is the author giving an example? Is the author advising something? Is the author contrasting? Is it the conclusion of the author? Is the author recommending something? गालियां दे रहा है किसी को? Ask yourself. But don't get stuck on that one word. Sir, I could not understand that word, therefore I got it wrong. Very unlikely. Yes, I understand. Sometimes options में vocab can play a very key role. I understand that, but what do? काम तो चलाना पड़ेगा, right? We have to somehow work around it. We can't work through it, right? More importantly, focus on words that can tell you what is the key role of that particular paragraph. For example, look at logical connectors. If the author is saying however, then the author is presenting something which is counter. So even if you don't understand a word, you understand the author is giving some counterpoint. तो फायदा तो हो ही रहा है, right? Lastly, if at all you do not understand the adjectives, then focus on the noun. This I talk about in the classes a lot. Intransigent moral absolutist. ऐसा लगा कि शशि थरूर जी कान में कुछ कह के चले गए, कुछ समझ में नहीं आया. No problem. Don't focus on intransigent, don't focus on moral, focus on absolutist. Now absolutist is a person who talks about extreme. I think you would understand that. Absolutist. You'll be able to connect. That's it. This is something about people who are extremist. पल्ले पड़ गया. Let me move on. That's about it. इतना भी कर लोगे तो काफी सारा काम हो जाता है, right? So if you do not understand vocab or your vocab is weak, not much you can do, but still have 5 months. You can work on it, but at the same time इसके बिना भी more or less आप काम थोड़ा बहुत चला सकते हो, right? I hope that question is answered. Sir, in every class we are told to focus on the structure. What exactly structure? Why should I bother about it? मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. Structure? Why should I bother? You should bother. Why? Structure is the logical skeleton of the passage, right? Structure basically means where does the author start, where does the author take you, right? How the idea is introduced, how it is developed, how it is contrasted, how is it concluded. That's the entire skeletal structure of the passage. You should focus on it. Why? 3 reasons. 1, it improves retention. When you focus on I talked about it, when you focus on the structure, you know which idea was where, what did the author do, the author introduced, the author countered, the author explained, right? So it helps you broadly remember कि paragraph कर क्या रहा था. You at least understand what the author's intention was behind writing the paragraph. Second is, it helps you locate answers very fast. You know, okay, so the question is on when the author said this, the author meant this, the author would disagree with it. So you know, okay, disagree means however. So second paragraph, I have read some idea. And last, it can help you eliminate options very, very fast. Whatever is mismatching with the role of a paragraph is probably a wrong answer. Author was throughout giving you details of global warming, and question talks about, let's say, local warming. Then you know it's a mismatch. So it can help you eliminate fast. And that is why, so after reading every paragraph, just pause for 2-3 seconds and give it a role. Like, it's this paragraph was argument, this paragraph was example, this paragraph was details, this paragraph was explaining, whatever. Helps you remember the structure. Very helpful. Let me know after practicing. Now we come to the last one for in this video. Of course, we would have more such questions. Sir, how much time should I spend reading versus solving? Please remember, both these are same thing. You do not have reading and solving. You have time for the entire RC. So my friend can do it in 4 minutes. Good for him, good for her. You focus on your own self, right? CAT, remember, is not really a speed game. It's basically accuracy and speed game. So please remember, right now, for a 4-question RC, if you are able to do it in 8 to 10 minutes with 75% accuracy, 3 out of 4, you are doing a fantastic job. Just go out and party. बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो. Don't listen to anybody. 2 minutes per question, including reading time, is what you should aim for in RCs with 75% accuracy. 2 minutes per question, including reading time, with 75% accuracy. If you're doing it, you are a rock star. बिंदास, कोई रोक नहीं सकता. Correct? ज़्यादा टेंशन लेना ही नहीं है. So now let me pause it here and ask you. So I hope I took up some very important, frequently asked pain questions, right? Of course, give me more ideas in the comment box, and I would come up with more such videos, because I have a series planned, right? Because I have plenty of such questions, and I thought एक वीडियो बना के सब बता देता हूँ, because वो बार बार आप अलग अलग पूछते हो तो एक जगह पे कर लेते हैं, है ना? Makes much more sense. And just to let you know, we have started our new batch also, and we have started our mock portal also. So make sure that you consider joining both. R7 batch launch हो गया है, and this is going to be slightly fast paced, so please do not delay in case you're thinking about CAT. And here is the faculty panel that will teach you. सभी हैं हम इसके अंदर, बहुत मजा आएगा. You can join separate courses also. Ravi sir, Swapnil sir will teach you the quant part. Ravi sir, Apur sir will teach you the LRDI part, and I would be there. Vijay sir would be there. Nikita ma'am would be there for the VRC part. So it's going to be super fun as we keep on doing. बहुत सारी पढ़ाई. So make sure consider joining it, and our mock has started. So you can visit our website and you can join the mock series also. Thank you so much for joining me here. Let me know in the comment box what are the other questions I can answer. Keep on working very, very hard and be the best of whatever you do. Thank you.